Guys, Wade from 7 p.m. prayer doing another tailgate talk for you today. And today's tailgate talk is on how to drink less alcohol and more water. So one of the things I noticed, I think you guys heard, I can't remember if I told you, but when I was trying to come up with a cherry drink, what I started noticing was that once we bought this cherry orchard was that like 30% of the crop just hit the ground because it didn't look perfect. And I thought, how could I do something with that such that it, could function for something? Now, what I didn't realize at the time was that it actually does serve a function. The bears eat those things. So this is kind of a funny story that I know I haven't told, but the bears started tearing down my gate every night. Behind our fence to our orchard was 2.1 million wide open acres, Flathead National. And so every night the bears would come bust down my gate. So I started realizing that all they were doing was just eating the cherries off the ground. And so I just started making it part of my work, job for the day, at the end of the day, of going over there and opening the gate for them so they could come in. And they would always show up after we went to bed, and they would always leave before we got up. So pretty good neighbors, and came in there and cleaned up underneath all the trees so that, there wasn't rotting fruit and flies everywhere. So I got to where I really appreciated them. They would even, like when a tree's getting ready to die, it puts out like 10 times the amount of cherries that it normally does. It's just kind of a survival mechanism inside of them. And so as a result of that, as you might imagine, if let's just pretend, for example, a tree had the ability to put out 50 pounds of cherries. And to take an extreme example, let's pretend that a tree put out 50 cherries versus a tree putting out 500,000 cherries. Well, if it can put out 50 pounds and it only put out 50 cherries, each cherry would weigh a pound. If it puts out 500,000, you can imagine how tiny those cherries are. Well, the actual numbers are in between there, but the bottom line is that it puts out way too many cherries. They're way too small, and so the pickers don't even fool with them. They just leave them all there on the tree. So the bears, seeing all these cherries on the tree, they climb those trees, and because they're so big and heavy, they tear them down, which is exactly what needs to happen to those trees. So they save you some work there too. So the bears were awesome, and I got to where I really appreciated them and I liked them. It was fun having them around. And they really made it a point to stay out of our way. And they also only started showing up once they saw that we were kind of finished picking. So they were awesome. I really liked those bears. Anyway, let's get back to what this video is about. Anyway, I was working. A buddy of mine had a restaurant bar downtown, and he was needing some help, and I was wanting to come up with a cherry drink. And so I just thought, what the heck, I'll go down there. He asked me, hey, would you like to come down and work as a bartender? I was like, I've never worked in a restaurant or don't know anything about it. He's like, well, come down here, we'll show you the ropes. And and so anyway, what the heck, I wanted to help him out, and I wanted to come up with a cherry drink. And as being a partner in a distillery, I thought, well, if I can come up with something, maybe we can bottle it and sell it. So I went down there and I decided not to do a cherry drink. Maybe I'll make that a video another time. But what I noticed is that a lot of people drink too much, and they become different people when they drink too much, and it's not good. It's a sad thing. But one of the things I noticed in just being in that environment was that we really dress our alcohol up. I mean, we have fancy glasses for it. We do all kinds of fun things with it. And so if you're someone who's trying to drink less, most of the time, like I would see someone come in there, for example, and if they just ordered some water after they'd had a drink or two, here comes the, plain Jane glass that they have their water in. So, what I started doing around the house, because I've never been someone that likes to drink too much. I really enjoy alcohol and it's like a whole piece of history, some of the stuff, the stories behind different brands and things. It's very interesting. Different bitters and such. I mean, hundreds of years old, created by some monks over in Belgium. All kinds of just fun stories. But in this day and age, if you're out, you're basically one and done in most cases. And in some cases, you can have a second if you're going to hang out somewhere for a couple hours. Another thing I learned was that your body can basically process one drink an hour. So if, like I was wanting to go with a buddy and watch a football game out somewhere, I mean, theoretically, you're going to be tying up a place for 2 or 3 hours. Your body can process one drink an hour. Now, I don't like to ever have more than 2 drinks just because for health reasons. I eat a lot of healthy foods. I focus on putting good into my temple, so to speak. And so I don't want High Ranger. I don't want to, I just feel unhealthy. Even if I've spread it out over a long period of time, even if I'm not having too much alcohol per the amount of time that's passed, I just don't like having, 3 drinks plus. It just makes me feel bad. So I like 1 or 2 drinks because I get to stay being me. If I have 1 or 2 drinks, I'm never not Wade. I'm never saying things I wish I hadn't said. I'm never doing things I wish I hadn't done. So I'm always making choices that I would make if I had had 0 drinks. So I saw a lot of other people that didn't make those choices. And one of the things that I started realizing was people need to dress up their water. So like, for example, here's my water I'm drinking right now. So this is a crystal glass made by Reed and Barton. They've been making crystal glassware since the early 1800s. Not real expensive. I mean, probably a set of 4 of these would be a really nice bottle of tequila would pay for that. So, the bottom line is I might throw a lime on the side of that, have a little garnish, but and I also might just pick up some special water from a particular spring. Like I have a good time buying that Fiji water. There's also some Mountain Valley that I like to get out of Arkansas. So I mean, the bottom line is that if you just throw your water in something that is not dressy and you do all kinds of fancy things with your alcohol, then it's always going to be a downgrade to have some water. When in reality, when you look at that water, I mean, it's like so many things God's done for us. It's just a beautiful thing. It's totally clear. It's totally good for us. Our body is mostly made of this. And so in drinking it, we're doing ourselves such a huge favor. Now, you may even not, you may drink no alcohol. So maybe this is a way for you to drink less pop, because that's almost more of a problem than alcohol these days. And I've got a whole nother story about that. The first business I ever owned was a dating service. And the people that always seem to have the biggest issues with being able to control their weight were people that drank diet soda all day long. And I mean, they would literally show up in their appointments with a gigantic mug or a cup of diet soda. So this may be your route for drinking less, pop or something. But the bottom line is find a way to make drinking water exciting. I only drink water out of this glass. So basically, I know if I want to use my fanciest glass in the house, I better be drinking water. So remember, everybody's trying to brainwash you. The media with commercials, even a friend. It's not like it's also some kind of malevolent thing that necessarily they're doing. It makes people feel good for you to think like they do. And they may be just giving you some advice to try to help you. So whether it's with a friend who maybe drinks a little too much, and so they're kind of encouraging you to drink because then they don't have to feel so bad, whatever it is, all I'm saying is if you want to control your drinking so that A, you don't go out and do something stupid like get a DUI, and B, so that you don't become someone that you're not and make decisions that you wouldn't normally make, and C, if just being healthy, and maybe you're just drinking around your house. So the bottom line is, if you will dress up your water and really learn to appreciate your water, then whether you've got a problem with drinking too much soda and it's rotting your teeth out and putting weight on you, or you're drinking too much alcohol and it's giving you, problems with your everything, then start making a really great friend of water. And if you're an alcoholic, you can't touch this stuff. I have a hard time understanding it, but I think it's spiritual in nature. And when you're going up adversary such as that, in many cases, then you just have to be a teetotaler. I've had some friends like this through the years, and they knew themselves well enough to know that I can't have a drop because I can't stop until I'm just like laid out on the ground. So if that's where you are, then you got to abide by that. You just have to know what's more important, my relationship with God or my relationship with booze. So it's God, and just get rid of the booze. It's not worth it. When God is running your life, you run booze. If God's not running your life, booze runs you. So you need to get yourself in a position to where if you are an alcoholic and you can't control how much you drink, then don't drink at all. If you're someone like me and you just want to be responsible, like I've said, I don't want to switch from alcohol to pop or something that's unhealthy. I know that water is incredibly good for us, and so I want to drink more water. So what I'm going to do is, instead of only alcohol getting the fancy glass and the special treatment, my water gets the best treatment in the house. So again, manipulate yourself instead of letting someone else do it, and manipulate yourself in a way that makes your life better and makes you better. And you may just even help somebody else drink more water too, which is going to be nothing but better for them. So 7 p.m. prayer, all of us Christians praying together, working on the problems of the world, the nation, your county, city, whatever, and your family. All of us praying together, knowing other Christians are right there with us praying also. I appreciate you guys.